Yo, do not get too comfortable. Do not get too comfortable in anything that you do, right? Yo, everything being hard, everything being tricky, everything being difficult, because it is, yo, that's what it is. That is exactly what it is. You know that you want to move forward. You know that you've outgrown it. You know that it's not serving you. You have to ask yourself, like, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to stay stuck? Or would you prefer to take a strategic risk, step out in faith, and see who you could become, see what could happen on the other side? I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it would definitely be worth it, right? It would definitely be worth it. That's hard, right? But also staying stuck is hard, okay? If you can grasp this, then maybe it will help you out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Shan. I feel like I haven't made a video in a long time. It's been about 2 weeks, but that's long for me. Usually I'm just, but I've been going through some things, right? I've been going through some hard, difficult, tricky things, right? And I just had to come to terms with the fact that everything is hard. This is basically what I want to speak to you guys about, because I thought, you know what, I need to share this with my cousins, because if I'm going through it and I'm taking something from it, y'all have got to know too. Y'all have got to know too. And basically, I've come to tell you guys that everything is hard. Everything's hard. Everything's hard. And I have come to the conclusion, right, that we, you, me, us as a family, right, because we're a family, right, we have to make peace with being uncomfortable. We have to make peace with being uncomfortable. Like, get with it, right? Get with it. Listen, being uncomfortable, just make peace with it. Just listen, lean into it, right? Because the only way you're going to grow, the only way you're going to see change, the only way you're going to really know who you could become is by being uncomfortable. Because you see, when you play it safe, you see when you stay in your comfort zone, you see when you stay in familiarity, right? And you go back to what's comfortable. You don't really see who you could become. You don't really see what you're made of, right? Until you put through the fire. Until you put through the fire, you won't see that. You won't know that. Okay, so I'm saying everything is hard, but you have to know what's worth your time, your energy. You have to know whether it's worth going back. Yeah, you have to know whether it's worth going back to what's familiar and what you know and what's comfortable. Because yes, it might be hard where you are right now, but also going backwards is hard. Staying stuck is hard. Staying in dead situations, old mindsets, and doing things that are making you feel safe, right? And just because you feel safe, it doesn't mean that you've made it. Just because you feel safe, that doesn't mean anything other than you being comfortable. And listen, being comfortable and growth can't exist at the same time. So if you're comfortable, you have to ask yourself, are you stagnant? Because when you're stagnant, there can never be progress. When you're stagnant, there can never be growth, right? And I'm saying you have to check yourself, right? And ask yourself, are there mindsets? Are there situations? Is there a job? Is there an environment that you need to let go of, right? And are you just holding on due to familiarity, due to being comfortable, due to this feeling familiar, right? This feeling safe, this feeling warm, this feeling cozy? Because if that is the case, there's no growth in that. If that is the case, there's no growth in that. And sometimes we trick ourselves by saying that we're content, we're stable, everything's good, everything's cozy. Like I'm saying, listen, one thing I've learned, right, never get too comfortable. Never get too comfortable. And to be honest with you, right, I feel like for the majority of my adult life, I haven't been comfortable. And I'm just saying, I might as well make peace of it today. I'm saying I am always uncomfortable. And maybe it's a good thing, because when you're not comfortable, when you're uncomfortable, it means growth. It requires growth. It requires mental and emotional resilience, right? And you know what? As I'm making this video, I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, cool, because not everybody can handle uncomfortable, like not everybody can handle the struggle, because the struggle can even make you or break you, right? And some people fold at the moment things get difficult, the moment the things get tricky, they fold, they crumble, and they go back, right? And I'm saying going back is hard, but also going forward is hard, okay? And you have to choose which hard do you want. Which hard do you want? What's worth it, right? Which is going to bring about the better version of you, help you to achieve your goals, help you to see who you could become. Because I'm saying going back, there's nothing back there. There's nothing back there, right? But a few back rows, and I'm saying I don't want to see that. You know, like that. I don't want to see that. So we're not looking back there. We're gonna keep it pushing that way. We're gonna keep it pushing. Also, another thing that I want you to know, right, is that making a hard choice isn't just a one-time event, isn't just something that you do once, right? Like making hard choices is something that we have to do daily. It's something that we have to do all the time. Every time you decide to show up and not go back to old ways and what's comfortable, right? That's when you're growing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's not a one-time event. I definitely believe that it's something that has to be implemented often, that you can't just do it once and think that you've made it. You can't just read a quote, you can't just read a scripture and think, yeah, cool. Nah, it's the things that you do daily that are going to bring about the real growth, the real change. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, but this is it, isn't it? This is it. Like, this is how it goes. This is how it works. This is what's going to set you apart from the rest, right? Because for some people, when it gets hard, you go back. When it gets hard, you go back. When it gets hard, you go back, right? And the fear keeps you still, keeps you stuck, keeps you making excuses, feeling like a victim, right? And I'm saying that ain't gonna get you anywhere. That isn't gonna get you anywhere. It's not gonna get you anywhere. So make peace with things being uncomfortable. And I think also it's just knowing that God is with us. Some of the things that I learned along the way, right? It's took for me to go through it, for me to learn it. So you might hear someone say something, you might hear something that resonates with you, you might see a quote, you might have a Bible scripture, and it all sounds good. It all sounds good. That's when things get real. That's when those little scriptures that you've got, those little quotes, those little sayings, everything that you might have been taught, everything that you might take from my videos, really come to test you. Really come to test you, right? So you have to make peace, right, with being uncomfortable. You have to make peace with being uncomfortable. Because one thing I've learned, right, is that, I don't know, I feel like I've been uncomfortable for a large proportion of my, a large proportion of my adult life. I feel like I've been uncomfortable for a large proportion of my adult life. And the other day I was just thinking, like, all right, cool, like, is this just adult life then? Is this really what goes down? Is this really what happens? And rather than waiting for things to get comfortable, rather than waiting for things to get easy and, just to be smooth and I'm saying maybe I need to make friends with uncomfortability. Is that a word? Uncomfortability. I don't know. But maybe I need to make friends with being uncomfortable. Maybe I need to make it my bestie. Maybe I need to make peace with being uncomfortable. And maybe that will help me and maybe that will help you, right? Just to get by, like that. Maybe it will help a little bit more, like, rather than waiting for everything to be easy, rather than waiting for everything to be smooth sailing, rather than waiting for everything just to feel good, okay? Because one thing that I've learned, is that everything is hard. Everything is hard, whether you decide to stay stuck or whether you decide to move, right? Whether you decide to stay in your comfort zone or whether you decide to come out of it, everything's going to be hard, but you have to choose your hard. You have to choose your hard, right? You got to choose it. Staying overweight might be hard, but also working out and getting fit is hard, right? Because being overweight, you might feel uncomfortable, you might have insecurities, it might affect your health, right? It might affect you in many ways that you don't like, right? But then losing weight, you got to be disciplined. You got to exercise self-control. You got to be consistent, right? You got to be in a calorie deficit. Okay, that's hard. That's hard. Okay, but you have to choose your hard. All right, being broke ain't cool. Being broke ain't nice, okay? Being broke and not having enough money to do what you want to do and having options ain't nice. It isn't cool, okay? Just struggling, like paycheck to paycheck. Or you might not even have a paycheck, right? Being broke ain't cool because it restricts you. And then you haven't got options to do what it is that you want to do. But then also, having a second income, maybe starting a new venture, maybe starting a new hobby, maybe coming out of your comfort zone and leaving the current job that you're in and applying for a new one. And it's all different, right? That might be hard too. But I'm saying you've got to choose your hard. You've got to choose your hard. And I think a lot of the time, this is why people get stuck, right? Because you become so familiar with your current hard. You become so familiar with your current struggle that you become immune to it. You become immune to it, but it doesn't mean that it's serving you any good. It doesn't mean that it's helping you to be the person that you want to be. It doesn't mean that it's helping you to reach your goals and to live out your full potential, okay? And moving forward might be hard. No, it is hard, okay? Moving forward is hard. Going after what you want is hard. And you have to decide whether your future life is more important than your current one, okay? Because your current one might be a life of you just being comfortable, you being stuck in situations that aren't serving you, okay? And it might be scary to move forward, it might be tricky to move forward, it might be hard to move forward, it might be sticky, you might feel stuck, right? But the reality is you're not stuck. You are not stuck. If anything, it's just simply down to the choices that you're making each day that are then creating your reality. But again, you have to choose what hard do you want. You have to choose your struggle, because where you're at right now, right, in 5 years' time, if you're still in the same situation, this same job, this same mindset, this same relationship, right, and you know that you want to move forward, you know that you've outgrown it, you know that it's not serving you, you have to ask yourself, like, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to stay stuck? Or would you prefer to take a strategic risk, step out in faith, and see who you could become, see what could happen on the other side? And again, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it would definitely be worth it, right? It would definitely be worth it. Coming out of your comfort zone, coming out of that lazy mindset that you're in, coming out of that victim mentality, or coming out of a relationship that you was never supposed to be in and it's dead and it's not serving you, right? That's hard, right? But also staying stuck is hard, okay? That's you wasting time. That's you sleeping on yourself. That's you sleeping on your full potential, your gifts, your talents, your skills, your abilities. You might be losing confidence, right? And sometimes what happens is people become comfortable, people become stagnant, right? And then they call it stable, they call it content, right? When really you're cheating yourself out of who you could become if you took that step, if you took that strategic risk, if you stepped out in faith. You will never get a chance to see who you could be, right? Staying stuck, staying where you're comfortable. Listen, nothing good happens in comfort zones. Being stagnant and progress can't exist at the same time. Being comfortable and expecting growth is crazy, because it's not going to happen. It doesn't happen that way. The two can't coexist, okay? So you have to make a choice. You have to choose your hard, and you have to know that whatever you do, listen, whatever you do, it's not going to be easy. But you have to know that what you want from it, what it is that you want from it, okay? Like, what are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to get from this? You have to be so focused, right, on your future life more than being comfortable. If you want to see results, if you want to change, if you want better for your life, because sometimes, right, we go round in cycles, and you're tired. Straight up, you're tired, you're fed up. You know there's more to you than this. We stay in places that we're not supposed to be, or we're in places that we was never supposed to be in the first place, right? And you know there's more to you than what you're doing right now. You know there's more to you than this, but you're stuck, you're stagnant, you're scared of moving forward. And I'm saying you will never get to see who you could become staying in this situation, staying in this space, staying with this mindset, because sometimes it is a mindset shift that we need. And listen, I'm talking from experience, right? The other day I was going to go ghost. The other day I was going to go ghost from the world, and I've done it before, so I know what to do, I know how to handle it. I thought, I'm disappearing until next year, right? I thought, nah, this is too hard, like I'm done, like I'm tapping out, phone's going, everything's going, right? And in my head, I was like, I'm doing this. I was going to send everyone a message to say, yo, catch up soon. And I didn't want it to be too dramatic. I didn't want I just thought, I gotta go. I just thought, I got to go. Like, I don't want to talk to no one. I don't want to see no one. This is too hard, right? And I was going to go back to some of my old ways. I was going to go back to some old habits. Like, I had it all mapped out. I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, this is what I'm doing. But I realized that even doing that, that is still going to be hard, right? Even doing that, that is still going to be hard, because going ghost means that I'm isolated, means I'm not talking to anyone. I'm a people person, right? I thrive off talking, obviously, right? I thrive off talking, I thrive off socializing and being around people, but also what I'm going through is hard. So I was like, yo, whatever I do, it's going to be hard. whatever I do, it's going to be hard. So I have to choose a hard and weigh up the pros and the cons and just look at it as, yo, what do I want from my life? And make a decision. I said to myself, I'm going ghost until this ship has sailed and I'm no longer going through what it is that I'm going through. And then I thought to myself, okay, cool, do that, right? What if this shifts, right? This goes in a year's time when I'm no longer going through what it is that I'm going through. I decide not to be ghost anymore. I decide to come out of my bubble. But then something else comes to challenge me. And I feel like it will. I feel like it will. And that's not even me being negative, but that is the reality of life, right? Life doesn't come to just keep us sweet and keep us cool. Like, life comes to challenge us, to see how bad we want it, to see how bad we want what it is that we're saying that we want, to give us the opportunity. Like, I feel like being uncomfortable is an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to move forward, right? And when we're uncomfortable, it can feel like punishment. It can feel like the struggle, right? But if you change your mindset and see being uncomfortable as an opportunity, that's what can put a smile on your face. That's what will help you to put a smile on your face. And that's when you'll begin to run towards being uncomfortable as opposed to running away from it. Because running away from it isn't going to do anything good for you. So you might as well run towards it, grab it by the face and be like, yo, come down. Like, let's do this. What do you want from me? Right? But like I said, it's an opportunity. It's not punishment. It's an opportunity for you to grow, for you to see who you could really become, right? And like I said, it's only when you go through the fire, it's only when you go through the struggle, you see what you're made of. And sometimes you don't really know who you are until you go through difficult situations, difficult seasons, a difficult life. A difficult life. You don't see who you could become or what you're made of, right? You don't see those abs until you get in the gym and make those sacrifices, make those, be disciplined, right? You don't see. And you're like, hold on, I can have muscle. Yeah, I can have muscle. Right, we're going to try. We're going to get there. When I think about going backwards, right, there's nothing back there. There's nothing back there, right? That's why you can't see your back. This is why you can't see your back, because there's nothing back there, right? Just a few rows, right? I was trying to go back because my current situation just seemed too hard, just seems difficult, just seems tricky. Like, I've never been here before. So it's like, let's go back to what's familiar. Let's go back to what's safe. Let's go back to the comfort zone. And I thought, that's hard. Yo, when I thought about it, I thought, that's hard. That's not cute. That's stress, right? And you can see how easy it is to fold and to go back to certain ways due to being uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable is a good thing because that means it's stretching you. That means it's taking you to a place of growth. And that's the only way there's going to be growth. That's the only way you're going to really see who you could become. Okay, because when you're comfortable, you don't really get to see who you are. You don't really get to see who you could become. And I always compare it to the gym. Like, you go to the gym, start working out, your muscles are aching, you're going hard, you work in certain body parts that have never been worked, right? Then you can really see like what your body could become, how you can transform it. And that's the same for your mind as well. And that's the same for anything else that you're going through or that you put yourself in, right? And I'm saying, if you're feeling safe right now, right? And you know what's crazy? I've said to myself, like, yo, do not get too comfortable. Like, whatever I'm doing, do not get too comfortable. Do not get too comfortable in anything that you do, right? Make peace with being uncomfortable, because that means that, you're always ready at it. You're always ready. Breakups are hard. Being in a relationship that isn't healthy, isn't good for you, that's hard. And even the healthiest of relationships is hard, okay? Because you have to consider another person. You have to think about their feelings, and that communication's got to be on point, right? So whether it's a healthy situation, a healthy relationship, a healthy marriage or not, it's still hard, okay? But also, being single is hard, right? It's lonely. It's lonely. You may have to pay for all your bills by yourself, right? You haven't got someone to bounce off, lonely, like you're alone, like you're alone, right? It's lonely, like you haven't got someone to speak to all the time. You're not around someone all the time. But also, sometimes people in relationships aren't happy. They're stressed out. They want to leave. They want to get out, and they don't know how to, right? So you have to make a decision. What sort of hard do you want? What sort of hard do you want? And ask yourself, is this hard bringing about growth? bringing about change, bringing about the life that you desire. And if it's not, then that hard isn't serving you, okay? And also, whatever you do today has a ripple effect on your tomorrow. And I'm saying you have to be careful about the decisions that you're making and the choices that you're making. And you might feel like being stuck isn't you making a choice, but it is, because you're not moving. You're making a choice to stay. You're making a choice to stay exactly where you are, okay? And they're the sorts of things that are going to impact your tomorrow. So you have to decide, what do you want for you tomorrow? Do you want the life that you have right now to be in your tomorrow, right? You have to make a decision and a choice today that's going to make your tomorrow look different. And I'm saying, if you're doing the same thing over and over again, then you can only expect to get the same results. You can't expect anything different if you're staying stuck, right? And I'm letting you know that tomorrow is hard too. Tomorrow is going to be hard too, okay? Whatever you do, it's hard, but you have to know what's worth it. You have to know what's worth your time, your energy, your headspace, your creativity. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if you don't want the same thing, you have to make a different decision, a different choice, a different, you know what I'm trying to say? You can't do the same thing and expect different results. I hope you've taken something from this video. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, but also turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any videos that I drop. Leave me some comments on how you found the video. If you haven't already, check me out on TikTok and also Snapchat, because I'm trying to be on there too, okay? I love you guys, and yeah, I will speak to you soon. And like I said, we're in the boxing ring, and I'm saying you gotta make peace of it. You gotta make peace of it. Holla.